Have you ever noticed how sometimes when you take photographs in the shade, the colors seem to look different to when you shoot on a sunny day? Or that the light at the beginning and the end of the day has a lot more warm tones when compared to a photograph taken during the middle of the day? Or that the light from a light bulb is different to a fluorescent light? So why do we see these differences? Well, under different lighting conditions, our eyes filter the light so everything appears fairly neutral. We don't pick up on the subtle differences in color produced by each different lighting source. However, when we take a photograph of the same subject under different light, our camera isn't so subjective and records these differences. These differences are known as color balance. Each different light source carries its own unique color balance from cooler to warmer tones. When we take photographs, we can choose to retain these differences in color as the camera sees it, or we can choose to capture them as normal as possible, just like the way the human eye sees them. We use the white balance function on our camera to control the whiteness of our image under different light. In photography, we consider the light that we get at noon on a clear sunny day as our most neutral white light. This snowy mountain photograph gives us a great example of how at other times of the day the light will be less neutral and it may take on different hues. When we compare against our midday neutral white point, we can see the snow appears warmer or cooler depending on the time of day. Hues that are at the blue end of the scale, like we find on cloudy days and in shady areas, are referred to as cool, while hues at the orange end of the scale, like we find under incandescent lighting, are known as warm. Just think when considering the white balance, is white looking white, or has it taken on the tones of the light? This is where you are likely to find the white balance control on your camera. By default, you will find your camera set to Auto White Balance, or AWB. In this mode, the camera attempts to do what the human eye does. This is a great setting as it analyzes the color of the light and filters that light back to a neutral point. When you select the various preset white balance controls, you will notice many different symbols. Some you may recognize, some you may not. Each of these symbols sets the camera up to shoot under a specific lighting condition. Each white balance setting counteracts the lighting conditions, ensuring that your whites stay as neutral as possible. Cooler lighting conditions, such as cloudy days and shady situations, will be warmed up, while warmer lighting conditions, such as sunsets and incandescent light sources, will be cooled down. We can use white balance to create different moods by tweaking the colors to be warmer or cooler. Take a look at this sunset, for example. See how we can make our sunset look natural or vivid using white balance settings. For a neutral and natural look, try using Auto White Balance. If you want to record the sunset as we see it with our own eyes, try setting the white balance to the daylight symbol. To enhance and create a dramatic and colourful sunset, try setting the camera to the shady symbol. White balance may seem confusing at first, but in reality it's quite simple. It is all about how warm or cool your image looks. Just remember, if you want to keep everything neutral, use AWB, or the appropriate white balance symbol for the lighting conditions you're shooting in. If you want to render the light source as the color it actually is, use the daylight symbol. And if you want to affect the colors of a particular situation, use the opposite symbol to the situation. Let's have a quick recap of what we've learned today. Understanding color balance, how your camera sees color, the relationship between color and light sources, how white balance affects our images, using AWB and white balance presets, and how to get creative using white balance. Now that you're familiar with white balance, make sure you check out the other tutorials in the series and see how else you can take creative control of your camera.